What was the other movie you guys said you were watching?
Dawn of the Dead. We watched Dawn of the Dead in theaters with Tanner's dad, who has a parasocial relationship with us.
Yeah. So Tanner, would you like to...
Anyway, Dad, I know. Hold on a sec. Dad, I know you're watching this one. When I think when Jackson and I last got lunch with you, you said we need to take it easier on Dylan. Do you understand now? Do you see what's happening here? Anyway, I love you very much, Dad.
All right, so Tanner, would you like to give us a little summary of Dawn of the Dead here, dude?
Dawn of the Dead opens in a news station. The zombie epidemic is in full swing, and they're figuring out, oh, how are we gonna cover it? There's chaos in the thing, and then a plan hatches with one guy who comes in. He's like, hey, I think you're kind of hot, girl. Let's get out of here on the helicopter. And then we cut to some police officers breaking into an apartment building in order to kill black people, and also some zombies.
Jesus.
Yeah, it's brutal.
That one guy really, he like kicks in that door and just fucking eviscerates that man. Jesus Christ.
He wanted those Puerto Ricans and blacks dead.
Dude, he hated black people. Jesus.
I don't feel safe watching this movie now.
I don't know why I'm looking at this. I didn't write down the plot of the movie. Anyway, we get introduced to our two cop characters through that. They wind up joining the pilot guy and the news reporter girl. They get in a helicopter and they start flying away, and they're flying for days and days and days. And then they see a mall, a completely abandoned mall, which is admittedly a little strange, but they land on the roof. They find just a massive stockpile of food in there for some reason, and then they're like, fuck it, we'll live in the mall. And so they clear out the mall, and they're having a grand old time. And then a very confusingly outfitted motorcycle gang shows up, and there's a big fight between all of them, and they get rid of the motorcycle gang, and then everyone's dead at the end. Or something, or they flew off. Did they fly away, or were they dead?
They flew off, yeah.
They flew off.
It was the whatever his name is and the woman.
Yeah, everyone but the black guy and the woman die. The end. So
this movie was not very good. I'm just gonna.
It was bad.
I'm gonna get that out here right now. It's like so confusing as well, because you straight cannot tell if this movie is supposed to partially be a comedy. Because like there's so many things that happen where it's like. Was this supposed to be funny? Well, are these stupid things happening because it's a comedy, or just because the right?
Yeah, that's what I was saying while we were watching it. Because like they have a handful of things that are very intentionally gags. Like the one guy like putting his arm in like the fucking heart, the blood pressure thing, even though they're in the middle of being eviscerated by zombies. I'm like, okay, that's very clearly like a comedy thing. Are we supposed to be laughing at this? And like a huge portion of the dialogue is either written wildly confusingly in like a funny way, or it's delivered in a baffling way that also ends up being funny.
Yeah, the acting and delivery in this film are fucking terrible. I suppose, yes, it's terrible in the sense that it's not communicating the emotions it's supposed to be, but it's funny a lot of the time. Everyone
the way
is
they're giving lines.
Stilted in this movie.
Yeah. And then
I feel like a lot of 70s movies we watch are like that, though.
Maybe.
I mean, Planet of the Apes wasn't. Or not Planet of the Apes. Shit. Was it Body Snatchers?
That was a while before the 70s. Body Snatchers? Wasn't that like a 50s movie?
That might have been a 50s one.
Body Snatchers 50s.
It was a 70s movie we watched that was pretty good. So
Rocky. Anyway. Yeah. The thing that very consistently was making us laugh, I feel like, is the fact that every human character and all of the zombies are wildly incompetent and ineffective. Nothing is a threat to anything in this movie.
Except for when they are.
Yeah, exactly.
Except for when they are.
Except for when the plot is like, okay, someone needs to die now.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's really fucking weird and confusing. Like, one of the biggest parts for this, I would say, is when, like, Lady is up in, like, their little stronghold all alone. She's, like, waiting for him. For some reason, she's chilling in the stairwell. I don't know why she doesn't just, like, wait in the safety of the room the entire time. But, oh well. And then she sees a zombie slowly walking up the stairs, okay? Very slowly walking up these pretty good-sized stairs. They'll give her plenty of time to respond. And so, like, you know, she goes into the room. She starts barricading it. These are zombies, so just shutting the door for this single zombie should be more than enough to deal with it.
To be fair, The zombies in the Walking Dead universe, or not the Walking Dead, the Living Dead universe, know how to use doors.
It seems inconsistent as to when they're able to use doors.
Generally speaking, they can use doors.
Yeah, when it's convenient for the plot for them to be able to open doors.
So, like, even if this door just, like, had a lock on it, that should be fine. Also, she stacks up boxes. She should have plenty of time to stack up some boxes, make a decent barricade, and that should be fine. She also has an escape route up to the roof, which should be more than enough to deal with it. But none of these things end up working. She just eventually gets saved by the dudes coming in there and shooting the zombie.
I do have one more thing that I'm going to just lump this into with what Nico's talking about as well, because there's just another specific scene that's similar to this. That being the very final scene where the woman is trying to escape to get onto the helicopter, and she's kind of waiting for the last dude to decide if he's going to kill himself or not. So we see one of the zombies climbing up the ladder to get up there. I don't know how the fuck they're able to do that, if they have the dexterity to do that whatsoever. But they do, and we see one doing it, and he's doing it very, very slowly. And there's really not that many zombies coming into this room. I mean, there's a decent chunk, but it's not like a ton. But like over a very short period of time. But when the guy's deciding if he should kill himself or not, maybe like a couple of minutes max. By the time he finally gets up onto the roof and decides to escape, there's like 20, 30 zombies up there somehow. There should be like maybe like 5 max. It's impossible for there to be that many up there. Absolutely ridiculous. It's a dog shit F tier.
And again, another fucking reason why it feels like this movie might be trying to be a comedy or whatever is we see a zombie holding a gun throughout the entire fucking movie because like steals it from one of the characters and just like grabs onto it the entire time. He still climbs up the ladder somehow holding that gun.
Yes, sir. We do see him on the roof later.
Yeah.
I want to ask questions, but I'm probably just going to end up watching the movie, considering I'm going to need to give it a ranking at some point.
This is an entertaining movie, Dylan. We're ragging on it a lot, but honestly, I was pretty entertained throughout the entirety of it.
I guess we'll
Especially,
see.
let's go into some positives here. I think the structure of this movie generally is pretty fine. I like the idea of them just like immediately hopping out of an elevator, which is not an elevator, a helicopter, which is just an escape route they have lined up. And they're just going and fucking off and just finding somewhere that they can land at. I think that's cool. And then, of course, the whole mall concept, regardless of the fact that it makes no fucking sense, it hasn't been, like, completely destroyed and looted at this point, and that they just happen to find a room with, like, a bunch of rations for no reason.
Dude, they got spam, bro.
Let's ignore that because it's stupid. And just look at the fact that a mall is a cool ass setting for a zombie apocalypse. Like when you think of like, in your mind of like cool places you want to set up shop, this is fucking sick. This is like peak fantasy zombie situation.
This is the first one to do it. It's the originator of this. And
I think that shit's cool. I really like that they just clear the thing out methodically and they just like make it their like own little house. I think that's pretty fucking sweet. I like how they show the progression slowly of them kind of like living in it for the coming months that they're in there. I enjoyed that a lot. I thought it was pretty solid overall.
Yeah. like I mentioned, I really like the opening scene. I think the opening scene is really well done, and I think it's a cool and still pretty unique idea for the zombie genre, where it is like in a newsroom with news reporters. Like they're sort of disconnected from the thing. They know something is going on out there, but they're like arguing amongst themselves. Well, what do we tell the people? Because I'm not sure I believe this whole thing. And also, me and Jackson mentioned to me, and I agreed with him, I like the idea of the government going to rednecks and just being like, yeah, fucking wander around and kill zombies. Do it. That's a great idea.
Not a big fan of the blue face in this movie, though. Kind of appropriating the Smurfs. Wasn't, like, huge into that. Kind of a strange choice. However, also, as we kind of hinted at before, the fucking opening scene also, when they have, like, the police just, like, raid that building, is fucking crazy, okay? We just have this racist-ass police officer bust into, like, this apartment building. There's a bunch of minorities in it. And just, like, start blasting people. Because he's like, oh, finally an opportunity to kill the blacks.
Yeah.
It's fucking
and, like,
nuts.
It's so extreme that the other police officers, like, it takes them a second to comprehend what's even happening. Like, the guy is going for a second apartment building to shoot people, and they're like, what the fuck is he doing?
Yeah, I remember when we were in the theater, Tanner, like, audibly gasped and was like, what the fuck is this? When he blows that guy's head off.
Yeah.
Why was that included in the movie? Why did they have to show that?
It was the
So
70s, man.
weird.
Times were simpler.
I guess so. It was more casual about hating blacks and Puerto Ricans back then.
I guess
That's
so.
crazy.
Yeah.
And
Yeah,
also,
speak-
obviously the zombie makeup is fucking atrocious throughout most of this movie, but we see some that's not bad. Like
Like when one of the main characters turned into a zombie, he looked good as a zombie.
yeah, when one of the main characters they give them like gray skin, gray decomposing looking skin like you expect. They're not painted blue like everyone else.
yeah.
They didn't have the budget to actually like individually make everyone look good. They had a lot of extras on this movie. A lot of extras.
You know what's fucking crazy that I'm realizing right now? As I'm remembering scenes from the movie, my brain is retroactively like color correcting the zombies. Like I know for a fact they're really like blue or whatever, but as I'm remembering scenes, I'm turning them into appropriate zombie colors.
Mine's just making them look like actual zombies and not just people walking around blue face paint. It's really funny too because of the variety of actors they're using for the extras. Half of the people kind of look like they're trying, and the other half are just random regular people that are kind of just walking around like they're not even they don't give a shit at all about attempting to look like a zombie.
Yeah.
Which is really, really goofy.
Yeah.
As for our ratings, though, which might be even more goofy, boys.
I don't know. It sounds
My
pretty
rating
concise.
my rating might be pretty goofy.
Yeah, Tanner, how about you, dude? How about you kick this one off?
This one is a fun watch, but it's not fun in the way that like Waxwork is. Like I still think I'm saying I'm giving this one a low ranking. But if you have a group of friends together, this one is a really fun one to put on and laugh at. But I'm giving it a flat D.
No, I thought you were gonna say this is like Captain Alex, and I got concerned.
I think Captain Alex is funnier, maybe intentionally, but probably not.
I'm gonna go.
Also, Captain Alex is much shorter, which helps.
Yeah. Thank God for that. I am going to go slightly higher and give it a D+.
Yeah. I think I'd probably also put it at a D+. I want to like this movie. Like, honestly, I enjoyed watching this movie quite a bit, but my critic brain is dragging this down. If I was less, critical of these movies, I probably would have put this at like C+ or something. But it just doesn't deserve that. It's a pretty rough fucking movie.
I'm satisfied with saying, listen, guys, this is a bad movie, but it's really fun, and you probably should see it.
Yes.
It's really
You
funny.
Like a one-time see kind of movie.
Yeah.
Makes sense.
You could give it a D+ as well, right?
Yeah.
Yes. 2 D pluses and 1 D.
No way. Well,
Try
I
and
know
guess
you guys
that
are shocked.
rank.
It's
Probably a D+.
What a dog shit week for movies.
The Dawn of the Dead, I really don't want to say that I think The Ridiculous Six is a better movie than Dawn of the Dead, because I definitely enjoyed watching Dawn of the Dead more. But that's just how the cookie crumbles sometimes.
I guess so.
I gave Ridiculous 6 a D minus, right?
Sure.
You gave it a D minus, yeah.
Okay, good.
I gave it a C minus, so I'm one rank above this
What?
one.
No way.